Chapter 3 The Legend of the Demon Queen. Johnnie awoke to the small click of the refrigerator door behind him. It wasn't until early morning that he'd finally passed out over a drinking game with Antonio, stories still spilling from both their mouths. Late night combined with his exhaustion, he figured he wouldn't have gotten up for anything until the following afternoon, but her presence had roused him. Quick shot. He hadn't seen her yet. Worse, he hadn't even asked about her. He had intended to visit her before he fell asleep, but the night had gotten the best of him. Guess it doesn't matter now, he thought. Johnnie twisted himself up on the table he'd crashed on and clambered to his feet. The others looked dead on the floor around him, illuminated by a single fading lantern. He seethed at the stiffness in his neck and hobbled toward the stairs, tripping over chairs and tables at the fringes of the dim light. Still, no one stirred. It got easier when he reached the railing. He guided himself to the second floor, trying his best to remember where the pits in the floorboards were, then made out a glow coming from the roof. He rattled up another set of stairs, and the night air hit him hard. He gasped. "Johnnie?" Quickshot asked. She sat with her back against a rusted AC unit, Antonio's sniper rifle and an old lantern by her side. Unlike him, she was well prepared for the night, shrouded in a ratty blanket, a red scarf around her neck. He had expected her to be furious with him. He'd left the tide when they needed him the most. Now, though, her eyes were forlorn, tired. He wondered what she was thinking. "What are you doing out here?" he asked. "Night watch," she said. He nodded. He used to hate doing that, but someone had to keep an eye out for mutants and bandits. He walked over and took a seat by her side. "Dull job," he said. "I've been obsessed lately," she said. Her dissonance frightened him. The quickshot he remembered was a fiery spirit, explosive and full of energy. He'd never seen her this contemplative. For a while he thought she wasn't going to say anything else. Then, "Have you ever heard of the Demon Queen?" Johnnie shook his head. She rubbed some sleep from one eye with the heel of her glove and took a sip of the water she'd grabbed from the fridge. She still wasn't sure why she was telling him this. Perhaps the trance had gotten the better of her. "She's a legend that made her way here a few months back," she said. "Rumor has it, she stalks the streets at night, claiming any victims she can find. Then she carries them back to her hive." She paused. "I was skeptical, as you'd imagine, but one night I was on watch like this, and I saw a man running down the street, headed straight toward our bar. At first I wasn't sure what he was running from. There were no mall dogs, no gruntags, no nothing, not even a damn skimpy. But the terror in his eyes was real. I called out to him to see what was wrong, thought maybe there was something underground or a gunman or something. Then I blinked, and he was gone. That's when I saw her. She was this huge dark shape, her teeth overlapping, her eyes empty and black. Then she was charging up the wall. She swallowed. She grabbed me with something before I could even move. She opened her mouth, and I swear I could smell the death on her breath, and..." Quickshot fell silent. The horror of that night gripped her just as the monster had, stopping her in her tracks. "And?" Johnnie pressed. It was almost as if she'd forgotten he was there. "Then these two blades shot out at me, and it was morning. Drake was waking me up with his foot, kinda pissed off I'd fallen asleep on the job." It wasn't like Johnnie to spook at ghost stories, but this one was strange. They were on no terms for her to be joking around. "And this wasn't just some kind of nightmare?" he asked. She closed those brilliant mixed-matched eyes of hers, one blue, the other brown. "I wish it were." "Why would she spare you?" "I don't know," she said. "But I can feel her every night now. I try to take all the night shifts I can without making Drake too suspicious. I know she's real. Johnnie frowned. What do you mean you can feel her? She shook her head. I can't explain. It's just in my mind or something. Not talking. I don't think she can talk, just watching. She seemed to be coming back to her senses now, the dream fading away like the mist in the morning. I still don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe just don't tell Drake, okay? Why? Because until I know more about her, the fewer people that know about what happened, the better. I already convinced Drake she wasn't real. Johnnie grunted. He would have much rather her chewed him out than hear this story. What the hell else had happened while he was away? Listen, he said. I know I've got a lot of making up to do, so if it helps any, I believe you, and I'll do whatever I can. She looked at him truly for the first time that night, and he felt a dim flicker of joy for the friend he once had. Thanks, she said. He grinned halfway, glad to see a glimmer of her old self floating to the surface. Maybe she wasn't crazy, but she'd definitely changed since he'd gone. She offered him some of her blanket, and he cursed himself again for ever leaving her, for ever leaving any of them.